The only thing that can make this Russian virus of war stop is force. Strong decisions. Strong help. We talked about it in New York with many of our close partners. Of course, we talked with President Trump. President Trump is very well informed about the situation at the front, about what the Russians are doing and what they are trying to deceive everyone about. We are talking to America about specific things that can stop this war. There are recipes. It is important that what we agree on is implemented. These days, the Russians continued to inflict heavy blows on our cities. Chernihiv, Kharkiv, Odessa, Dnipro region, constant strikes on Donetsk region. In Kherson, very heavy shelling from artillery and bombing. The Russians must be responsible for all this, of course. There were reports today on deep strike, which our forces are carrying out, efficiency, production of drones, production of missiles. We will increase production volumes. I held a high command meeting, in particular regarding contracts in our army. I instructed to increase the contract component. There were also reports by the Foreign Intelligence Service of Ukraine and the main intelligence directorate of Ukraine on Russian weapons production, their industry, and the fuel complex in general. We have outlined new tasks. Now is the time that the world sees. Russia has moved to a state where the war will give more and more problems to the Russian system itself, the Russian economy, and Russian society. Critical question. Not to reduce pressure on Russia for this war. Sanctions, restrictions on trade with Russia, restrictions on the schemes they use and make money on. All of this will work. We are waiting for the approval of the 19th package of EU sanctions. We are waiting for the steps of the United States of America. We appreciate President Trump's position on those in Europe who still buy Russian oil and pursue a policy of dependence on Russian schemes. We hope that Hungary will hear a key NATO ally and respect the President of the United States. Now no one in Europe sees such respect from Hungary. America is ready to fill the European market with energy resources so that no one even needs to look towards Russia. The Middle East is ready to work with Europe. Every nation in Europe can become stronger without Russia. There was a report by our military on, frankly, very strange events on the border between Ukraine and Hungary. Our military recorded drones, and they were reconnaissance drones. I instructed the military to conduct a full check and next time, if there are still such drones, react accordingly for the defense of our state. Ukrainians are now the best in Europe in protecting against any drones. We are ready to share our experience with other nations that need reliable protection against drone threats. We are negotiating this with dozens of countries in Europe and the Middle East. We have offered a strong deal to the United States. One of the most promising. Now we see how there are constant incidents with Russian drones in Denmark, Norway, and the Baltic states. According to intelligence, Russia can use tankers as launch sites and control of drones to launch these and similar drones. And this is not just to be prevented, but it is really necessary to learn, it is necessary to make the appropriate potential. And today I spoke with the Prime Minister of Denmark, and one of the topics of conversation is the exchange of details about drones, about all these incidents, obviously not accidental. Russia is trying to remake Europe for itself, for its idea of life. And this is such a performance that no European will like. Except, of course, those whom Russia corrupted. Therefore, opposition is needed. Joint actions, they are needed. Joint protection is possible. I thank everyone who helps us. Thank you to everyone who knows that life must win. Glory to Ukraine.